I can see you. Can you see me?
La da 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 la la da 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 da.
Is Pyle on crack? What is wrong with him?
On that note,
Everyone thinks because
They're
you're a
coming to
zombie,
take
you
me
don't know
away,
good
haha.
or evil. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the mic.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
well, hello. Welcome back to our corner of whatever the heck we're in. I'm not sure what cell you're in. I'm in 223. Pyle has his own cell. What cell are you in, Ron?
I'm in the cell where all clothes are 50% off.
What's your cell number, Pyle?
Well, it's actually the same as a great song, 6969.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I
Well,
was going to say 8675309.
I got it. I got it. Oh.
well, it's instead of the freak show, we're in the asylum. And everybody here loves the slasher asylum, don't they? The slasher sanatorium.
Yes. Because they tell me to. Otherwise, I get shocked again.
I was not aware that Raz was the director of the asylum. Is that why he has the doctor in front of his name and we don't?
Who do you think the head owl is?
The blowfish.
The one from the Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop commercial?
Let's find
No.
out. 1, the 2, the 3. The 3.
My 5-year-old has no idea about the owl. And he asked me that question, and I'm like, go find out. And I handed him one.
Maybe it's the owl from the Clash of the Titans movie?
No. The head owl is everybody's favorite doctor, Raz T. Slasher. And right now we are all in his sanatorium. And let's go with Tom Dog. Max, thank you for letting me be a part of your amazing ceremony. That
Hi,
was
Max.
amazing. And thank you to everyone who wished me happy birthday.
Yeah.
You down with MCB? Yeah, you know me.
Exactly. Dude, I got Deadly Grounds for my birthday. So I'm like, hey, you want to find out what's in the box? Let me show you mine.
Ginny's about to show us her box. Can
I
we
did
do
show
that
you
on
my
YouTube?
Dude, we could do a lot of
Effort is
things.
on
We got a
the Facebook
disclaimer.
page.
It just won't go too
Mwah.
well.
So, otherwise,
Max, I'm gonna have a video conference with Max tomorrow.
brutal. Hope you
Hey,
have fun with that.
A voice not video, a voice.
Are you planning your campaign for
Voice
next
meeting.
year?
I don't know what you're talking about at all. We would never ever have any type of campaigning. Me and Max decided that I don't know what tomorrow is, but I told him that me and him do need to get together. We need to have a good time.
Don't tell them your secrets.
I can't. I have to tell the secrets. That's what Chainer's Haunted Secrets is. I have to tell the secrets.
Politics, putting the pain in campaign.
Well,
So,
ours is going to be a fun one.
brutal.
'Cause
You want
it's
to know the
gonna have
best part?
clowns. What's that?
I'm in Texas. I'm not forced to vote. Not on that.
Well, this is the funny part. We've got to figure out how we're going to do it because it's for all of OHA. So, we
I'm
have.
not saying I won't help, but I'm in Texas, so I shouldn't have to have a vote.
I mean, I'm just saying you don't have to vote in any type of election. Hey! Oh, yes. Miss Jones, we need to have a conversation because you need to get on Chainer's Haunted Secrets too.
Yes, I sent you a friend request in hopes that you would become my friend and I could ask you the same question. So the Jenny
She's
Elliott that sent you a friend request, that's me.
She's actually in Pennsylvania. She is got a review team that go out, and her season should be done. Except for don't know if she's going out for Christmas.
Okay.
But yeah. Liz.
Otherwise, where have all the
So-
chips gone?
Where could my chips be? I opened the bag and I didn't get more than 3. I've got children and they took them from me.
Yes.
And now I don't have any chips for the fatness that I have.
So, gentlemen, what has been your favorite haunt moment this year?
Favorite haunt moment this year? All right, Pyle. Do you have a favorite haunt moment?
I do. It's when I made 3 girls absolutely want to puke at Hell's Dungeon.
They saw your
Because-
face.
No, because I asked them if they put it, and they said yes. And I got the toilet bowl plunger out, and I said, "Get yourself a good lick of this." And the one girl easily started going and telling everybody that she was going to get sick really quickly, and you could see her face turning green. So yeah.
Fair.
It makes me want to turn rather puce myself.
Puce.
But it had corn.
Only one letter apart. I would say the night that I guest acted at Hell's Dungeon playing Nurse Enya that was a very fun night. Jenny, you probably don't know. I'm not sure if anybody told you what I was actually doing that night, but I had a flogger or a cat of nine tails, leather whip with the 9 little tails
Yep.
on it, a flogger. And when we got to the haunt, standing in Raz's office, and he says, "You can do whatever you want. You can be as vulgar as you want to be. I don't give a fuck." And I went, because it was an industry night, so all the people that were coming through were all haunters. There was no public coming through at all. So that was like, don't tell me that, 'cause, I can definitely drop to that level. So I had the flogger, and Mia, the owner of Carnage, comes through. And I said, "Okay, Mia, we're gonna have to test the reflexes." So I had her bend over a chair, and then I just flat out slammed her with the flogger. And then she ended up coming back to it again. I said, "You already know what happened, so why don't you lead by example?" So she bent over the chair, and I spanked her again. And after the haunt was over, when Mia was leaving, she passes by me. She goes, "I want you to know my ass still hurts." And I went, "You're welcome."
That is not
I
what
can see
anybody
what's
expected.
happening here.
You both spoke at the same time. I have no idea what either one of you said.
That is not what she expected at all. Not by far.
I don't know.
And all I said was, I can see what's happening here. Maui singing "You're Welcome."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to ask if your kid watched it more than my kid. The one I am going to ask is if your kid is interested in number 2 that is coming out.
So my child might be going with her cousin to go see that movie, and her littlest cousin, would like to go if there's a frog, but I don't think there is a frog in that movie, so he's not going to be entertained. All he cares about is frogs.
It's like dragons. If it doesn't have a dragon, why should it be here? Gotcha.
Well, I don't think anybody dies in the movie either.
Well, no.
Nobody croaks.
I wonder how many I can get for my collection. So far, I have 2 in the room and 2 in chat. And 1 that's off doing a banquet. I hope he's having fun at the banquet. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Well, I know Raz is at a banquet. I know there are 2 people in the chat. I think Mariah was there, and Christy was there. Tom was there. I don't know who's in there now.
I don't know which side it's on for you, but read the thingamajiggy.
I've got full screen right now. I don't have chat on my screen. I'd have to exit out.
No, but if you have full screen, you can see what's below my name. So on that note, yes, I'm going to make. My next question is, what would happen if you tried to do your favorite science experiment again?
Favorite science experiment? Have I ever tried a science experiment? I don't know. I mean, to me, cooking is like a science experiment because I never know what it's going to be like.
Hi, we love you, Mariah. You're
It's
rocking it, Mariah, on the
in inventory.
numbers. Yes,
Mariah
our
has a
book
book out.
came out. It is awesome. And you'll find it hilarious, especially if you work in retail.
I worked in fast food for many years.
Yeah, but you're in my author collection. Ron gets to be in both collections. Brad gets to be in both collections. Soon, Pyle will be in both collections. We'll all make it work.
Paolo, do you have a science experiment that you've tried?
Have you made elephant toothpaste?
Well, is it science or can it be health class? I mean,
That depends. What are we talking about?
the best experiment I've ever done, which is kind of science, kind of health. I have a kid.
According to Robert A. Heinlein, that is a science experiment.
Well,
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
have
about
one, I have
everybody
two,
else.
but
That's what he called it. A science experiment that blew up in his face, and it made him incredibly sad for the rest of his life.
oh man.
I don't think I want to go through that ever.
I can't think of any science experiments.
So you've never done elephant toothpaste or
I don't know what elephant toothpaste is. I mean, other than brushing an elephant's teeth, but why would you do that?
It's a mix of baking soda, peroxide, and dish soap.
And,
No, that
and
one
what,
was vinegar, peroxide, and dish soap.
and what
And
would
then
you
you
do
have
with this?
the I showed Dante what happens when you mix. I let him do the mixing of the baking soda and vinegar on the kitchen in a pot on the floor, so it'd be on his level, and it'd be easy to clean up. He liked that.
So you're making napalm at home or what?
Not if you mix. Well, that one was done outside. The elephant toothpaste was done outside because it shoots up.
Yep.
If you do it right, it shoots up really tall out of the container.
Yep.
And the other one, the vinegar and the baking soda just bubbles a lot.
I think the closest that I've ever come to doing something like that was mixing Nestle's Quick into Coca-Cola.
How'd that turn out?
Quite tasty. After you get past all the bubbling and the fizzing. You ever drop Mentos in the Diet Coke?
Yes.
Yes.
Oddly enough, Nestle's Quick and Coca-Cola has roughly the same reaction.
Okay.
I did not know this before I tried it.
Ooh. Apparently, lighting up the light bulb with the potato because she finds it hilarious. What were you going to say, Pyle?
Raven's favorite experiment is making brownies because she didn't know that was science.
Alchemy is awesome.
Alchemy, Alka-U, Alka-Seltzer.
Exactly.
Gobble gobble me, gobble gobble you.
Gobble gobble, motherfucker.
No, you're gonna ruin it, Ron. It's a good song, man. Me and Friday was listening to Gobble Gobble before we came on here.
Yeah, I would highly recommend actually putting Nestle's Quick into Coke if you want something that's rather flavorful to drink. It's quite tasty, but make sure you do it in an environment where it's easy to clean up and you can contain the spillage, because it will erupt like a volcano.
Yeah. So,
So Friday, how did your weekend go?
Well, pretty good. I have been working on arcing LD Wosor's Caliente Queen book. The kids are making it extremely hard. Got to play with them, and then a couple of friends came by today.
Oh yeah.
So it's semi-productive and very chaotic.
I finally did some writing today. Other than editing the epic poem, it's the first writing that I've actually done this month. But the novel is now over 33,000 words, so I'm pretty happy about that.
I need to get back on Grimm. But I got a feeling Grimm is going to start back up in January. And I'll go ahead and start writing more in Grimm. And then I've got Pumpkin Paw I've got to get done.
I wanted to try to have this novel out in February, but now I feel like I probably put it off so long. I don't know if Patty is going to have the time to be able to put it out in February.
Will you have it done by February?
The way I've been writing lately, probably not. But I am taking the time off.
Well, you can
between
move
Christmas.
it back.
Yeah, but I was hoping to get
made
a book out approximately a year after the release of this one. And since this one came out on, what was it, February 15th of this year, then I wanted to try to have the novel out around the same time next year, so I can have them at least a year apart. Mariah, you just published a book too, so
You
don't
have
give me
done
that.
more than I have.
I haven't done
because
nothing.
I've written 2 poems and half of a story and plotted 3.
I haven't done nothing with
Yours.
Grimm.
I just need to finish editing and send back and for you to re-edit.
Well, that's fine, but I'm not pushing
need
on
to
it.
Devote an entire week to it and nothing else.
Yeah, that's what I need to do with the novel. I'm feeling pretty certain if I could devote an entire week to it, I'd have the thing pretty damn near close to done. Because I'm expecting it to be around 60,000 words by the time I finish it. And I'm just over the 30,000 mark now. So I know I'm already past the halfway point. And I've already got a couple of things planned out that I want to do in the second half of the book. It's just a matter of I just need to force myself to sit down and write and actually do it.
Most people can do that. A lot of people know how to do that. But that's okay. You've kicked ass and you've taken names.
Grimm's got 3,518 words in it right now.
That's
that is
commendable.
amazing.
That's a good start. That's a really good start.
Yeah, well, I started Grimm last year.
Oh, well, then maybe not.
Well, let me try this again. I started Grimm in January of this year, and I was going to town on it, and then I stopped, and I just slammed on the brakes, and then let's see here. Where is Pumpkin? Pumpkin Paw. He has 3,743 words in it. And Pumpkin Paul was done in 3 days.
So it's a short story?
I want to go back and I details into it, but I mean that and
We
then
have a
there's
place for it.
Life Cube. I have not even really scratched the surface on that one. Life Cube's in here. That one is 8,000.
Wow, that's nice.
I mean, so I've got those, and I have the tie hands. The tie hands were written at once, and I lost the file. I lost the zip drive with tie hand on it. Tie hand 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I was actually working on 5. So if they ever exist, they ever exist. I don't even know what this is. The Mind. Well, I did write this. I just don't know when I wrote it.
I have a story that I started back when I was about 16 years old, when I was still in high school. And I started writing it on an Apple IIe computer, and I saved it to a 5 1/4 floppy disk.
Yeah.
I still have the disk. And no way to convert it to computer.
Oh, that is all.
I could actually buy
Okay.
a peripheral if I wanted to. I could convert it, but it would take a lot of editing to fix it.
It would be
just
worth
depends
it.
if you want it. Just depends if you want that story.
I think it's been so long now, I don't even know where I was going with it. That happens a lot.
Yeah, 14.
That's when you reread it.
Very true. We got 14.
The longer the story gets, the less I want to have to read back through it. What was that, Jenny?
I have 14,811 on one. I have 14,109 on another. And then I have oh, wait a second. Yeah. And then I have 12,346 on another.
That's respectable. Are those short stories or beginnings of novels?
They're collections.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get somewhere. Have cohesive something.
Well, you're getting farther than I am. Like I said, I usually get so far, and then it's like, I don't even touch it for a while, and it just sits there. And then I find it, and I send it off to you, and I get a, yes, I like this. Like Grimm, I have not added or touched Grimm since 8/28.
I love the entire crazy, scary, creepy world that you have made in each of these places. Only thing is, one scares me more than the other.
Which one?
Because I could end up on the menu.
Oh, yeah, tie hand. Yep. And it doesn't have to be just you or you as a whole. It can be a piece of you. But you know what? And the thing is, I swear that as soon as I go and I write something down, it gets taken out of my computer and stuck someplace else.
It makes you feel better, Pyle. We all hit the brakes on a project at some point. Yeah, 'cause that's how I was about the novel for a while, and now that I'm getting closer to the deadline, I'm trying to make myself get back into it, which is why I finally sat down and wrote a little bit on it tonight, and got just about 1,000 words. So I was pretty happy about that.
Okay, Tom Dog, write them out.
Right?
Type them up, write them out, so we can get you in Feycore. You'll have to become one of the Fae. Just remember, not all Fae are those cute little flitting around fairies.
Right. Yeah, I've started
get
keeping a
one.
list of story ideas, and they're usually just a small blurb. The problem is I'll go back and read through it, and then I can't remember what the idea was that spawned the blurb. But I feel like as long as I keep the blurb, it's still something that I can work on later, and it doesn't matter if it's the original idea of the story. It's at least something. It's at least a story, and it might even be better than what the original idea was. But
Right.
you got to at least start writing down the ideas and saving them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, some ideas get thrown at the wall and they turn out to be total shit, and then some ideas you throw at the wall and they seem pretty cool, but it might just look like shit.
Yeah, it looks like that.
I can
But,
honestly say Friday's World is not what it started out looking like. Because I knew the beginning, well, where I was starting, and I know how her story ends. How she ends.
I get one of my stories or anything published, I have to take one copy and I got to bring it over to Parkway High School.
What was that? Some
Because
Fae or monsters that what? I didn't catch the last part.
Eat hearts too.
That eat hearts. Okay.
Yep.
Like artichoke hearts?
Did you not know what any of Raz's monsters do?
Am I putting myself on the spot if I say I've not actually read any of Raz's work and I've only heard what he's read out on
I can literally
Society?
say I've been eaten in a story of his. And a lot of the monsters range from these monsters to monsters that will kill you and or eat you.
I'm sorry, Raz, if this is the first time you're hearing that, but I can honestly say that I've not read anybody's work from Fake Horror because I read my own, I write my own, and then I submit it and I move on to the next thing. If I spent all the time reading everybody else's work, then it may prompt ideas that would not necessarily be original.
Right.
With how many ghost shows I've watched and ghost movies and everything, I don't. Oh, yeah. And ones I've heard in real life from people I know, I can tell you that a lot of the things that happen in my book are not original. How they happen in the book are different from the original story.
Yeah, I mean, I still watch a lot of horror movies and everything like that, but I don't know how to read.
I have a ton of books. I will never finish the amount of books I own in my lifetime. But my kids may.
I graduated with a bachelor's degree in English with a concentration in creative writing. And when I did that, I'm not sure if I ever told you this story. Maybe I'll put it in the foreword of this book. My senior year in college, I was taking a third level Spanish class, Spanish conversation, having not studied Spanish in probably 4 or 5 years since I graduated high school. So I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I don't know why I did it. I just knew that I wasn't happy being in Mandarin Chinese and I needed to change my major. So I, for whatever reason, started taking Spanish instead because, hey, I studied it in high school. How hard could it be? And I was taking a
Very.
creative writing class as an option to fill out my schedule. And my creative writing teacher at the time, her name was Lynn Doyle. I'm showing her my transcript, and she says, you probably have enough credits that you could graduate in English if you were to change your major to it. And I said, okay, about how long would it take? She's like, well, you probably have to double up on a couple of classes, but you could probably do it within a year. I went, okay, let's do that.
Oh dear.
So I went to the registrar's office, immediately changed my major to English with a concentration in creative writing. And I worked with a counselor to plan out my schedule for what classes I would have to take and how to double up on the classes so that I could finish within the year. And my guidance counselor, she says, you do realize what this means, right? And I said, no, what? She's like, well, you know how in other classes you have to write a senior thesis, which is a research paper that usually takes you most of the semester, and then you have to turn your thesis paper in, and it gets basically judged on your citations and all of that. I went, yeah. She goes, you're taking 2 creative writing classes at the same time, which both require portfolios. And I went, okay. She goes, that's a lot of reading.
Ow.
And she said, you're doing it both semesters. 2 senior level creative writing courses. You're doubling the amount of reading you have to do and quadrupling the amount of writing that you have to do. And I went, but I graduate in a year, right? She goes, yeah. So I did it. And
your brain was putty.
Uh-huh. It really was. It was majorly putty. I got through the spring semester and I was fine. And I told my mom, I said, I really want to spread these courses out. I want to take just spread it out and take another semester. And my mom said, no, you've been there long enough. You do what you got to do and just graduate, get it done. And there's no point arguing with my mom. So I said, okay, fall semester comes around. I'm taking my last 2 senior level creative writing courses. Fortunately, by the grace of God, I had the same instructor for both classes. Lady's name was Susan. What was her last name? Weinberg? I'm not entirely certain on her last name. Her name was Susan, but she was a master's and working on her PhD. So she wasn't quite professor level. And I explained to her, this is what I'm trying to do. And she said, that's a lot of work, but if that's what you want to do, she's like, okay. So as it turned out, I was doing really well in one of her courses. I think I was making maybe a low B or a high C average on the one class, but as a result, the other one was suffering, and I started to fail because I wasn't getting the work done for that course. And Susan comes up to me near the end of the semester and she says, here's the situation. She says, I know what you're trying to do, and you're doing well in the one class, but you're suffering in the other. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time to get the work cut up and turn in your portfolio, because you have to do a portfolio for each class. And I said, thank you. And oh my God, I worked my ass off. I pulled all-nighters. I stayed up all night. I was dating a girl at the time, and she was also in the dojo with me. She was a martial arts student. We both trained at the same, which is where we met, and we started dating. And so I spent a lot of time at her place, and in as much as I would have liked to have been romantic or taken her out on dates and all that stuff, every free moment I had, I just passed out. I ended up falling asleep. I could not stay awake. But somehow I got it done, and I turned in a portfolio for both classes and ended up passing both classes. And I think with C's in both, to be honest. But because Susan was so understanding and she knew what I was trying to do, and she saw that I was working my ass off to try to get it done, she gave me that grace. So I didn't end up graduating with the greatest of GPAs, of course, but I did end up graduating, and I had to bust my ass to do it.
I had a teacher tell me that I was probably never going to see a high school diploma and end up in prison. That was when I was in the 6th grade.
And you became a cop?
No, I'm not a cop.
I said, and you became a cop at...
He was
What
a
was the
security guard, I
uniform
think.
that looked like a guard uniform?
Oh, I'm a security officer.
Oh, okay. So you became a security officer. Well,
And a truck
that
driver.
works.
So when I told the other teacher, hey, I just feel like I want to get paid for looking out the window, I was correct. I get paid for looking out the window.
Of your truck.
It's my
You
office.
do a great job.
Yep.
Dude, I
So
am a
stay in
medical
school, kids. It can be done.
Stay in school and prove your teachers wrong.
Exactly. Or prove your teacher's right, in my case. She
Well,
had a lot of
I'm a
faith in me.
If your teacher looks at another teacher and says that you're going to end up in jail or prison and not get a high school diploma, you know what? Prove them wrong. My one teacher told me his main job was to have me prove him wrong repeatedly. I said, how is that your main job? And he goes, because if I go and I have you prove me wrong, you will absolutely be on a higher tier then. And that's awesome. And now I go over to the school where he teaches and I talk to kids about not giving up on yourself.
Teachers are happy to be proven wrong sometimes.
I am a medical clerk. Writing is so much more fun than that.
I can imagine.
Considering they keep changing how they want you to put in the codes.
Yeah.
It's stupid. So,
Writing is more fun than my job, even though, curiously enough, I actually still like my job.
that's good.
It's something I never thought I would see myself doing. I had no background for it whatsoever. I just have an eye for detail, and it's sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours a day, which I've been accustomed to for half my life. So, turns out I'm actually okay at it. I'm not the greatest, but I'm certainly not the worst either.
Oh, I'm terrible at my job. I mean, I flipped over a semi and still have the job.
Oh, you drive for Swift.
No, I drive for a agriculture company, and the trails are very, very top heavy. Like to make sudden turns. They don't like to be backed up and do sudden turns either. So when there was a woman at a stop sign and I wasn't quite sure if she was going to stop because she kept on creeping up, I got as far in the corner as I could, and then I turned the wheel. When I turned that wheel, that changed the direction, and it really made that trailer not like it, and it tipped. And I went boom. But yeah.
And the lady
That was
lived?
back. She wasn't even underneath the trailer. She didn't get hit by the trailer. When I flipped the trailer and I smacked the ground, she went flying and she didn't even look back. But I'll tell you what, if you're in a semi, don't expect to have airbags because semis don't have airbags. And let me also tell you, wear your seatbelt, even though you're like a fat pinata.
I still have pictures from my dad's wreck.
Yeah, well, I didn't get any pictures of that.
It was in
I
pieces
put
around him.
I put my gloves on and I told them I needed to clean up the mess, and they sent me to the hospital, and the doctors had to convince me that I was not going to be able to go back and help them. Like they said, "Hey man, they're already cleaned up and this and that by the time you get out of the hospital." And then I had to talk to the state troopers and this and that, and I got cited. But you know what? Citation's okay because the points are off my license, and it's been 5 years.
And I'm glad you lived.
Yep. I didn't get to go see my grandma that day.
No.
I was supposed to go see her, but unfortunately it didn't work out, and I got called into work, and then I kept on there and telling everybody, see, I knew I should have went to go see my grandmother.
Next question.
Favorite character?
And what?
That's a very vague question there.
I know, right? It's so open-ended, so broad. I mean, you got to narrow it down.
Are we talking about character on a soap opera, movie?
Movie, show, book you've read, book you've written, character that stands out in your brain.
Did you say Crunk?
Gronk.
Oh,
Gronk.
you said Crunk.
Gronk.
Sharpie.
I like Gronk.
I like the character. There's so many people that have played this character, and they put such a great twist on the character. But throughout movies, magazines, books, this and that, even video games, I absolutely love this character. And to have such a following behind the person that is his mortal enemy, kind of makes it so much even better. Because he doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to see how people react to the situation. And yes, if you haven't figured it out by now, it is the Joker.
Okay.
Like he says, I didn't want you to do anything. I just want to see what you would do. And that's exactly the whole philosophy behind every single Joker that's ever done it. I don't want you to do anything. I want to see what you'll do. knowing that you're going to do something, but how are you going to react to what I'm doing?
I think the Joker's is like the paramount epitome of the agent of chaos.
Yeah.
That in said that the Joker is the form of pure uncaged lack of intelligence, all wrapped up into one thing. He's smarter than hell, but the things he causes are so out there and so chaotic that you don't think about what you're going to do because you never know what's going to come your way. I always thought he was just like the absolute greatest super villain, and I could not think of anybody else that would be greater. I have so much Joker stuff, and I got to the point where it's like, okay, and I had to get rid of some of my Joker stuff, put away. And when I moved and I put stuff away, it didn't make it through the move. But I do love the Joker, I really do, and I'm not a person that wants to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff because I just know that someone else is going to enjoy that stuff more than I will, even though I just absolutely love the Joker. I had so many things that said just a random haha on them. My wife, she really likes diamonds, the Harley Quinn diamonds, just because if I was going to go psychotic, hell, I'd probably take her ass with me, and we would just go through rumping through the tulips, in the words of the Joker one time to Harley. Harley, I just feel like we just need to go running through the tulips. And Harley's response was, that doesn't sound like you at all. And his response says, isn't that the best thing? Not to give a response that is any response of anything? And it's true. I mean, he can't even predict his own self just because he is a person. But once you take one thing away from him, he is very unhappy. And if you take the Batman away from him, that's when he feels like there is nothing there. So, yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
just saying, maybe I should be on splash pages.
You can
I really
be invited.
Well, I'm just saying, I really like the Joker. If they were doing something with the Joker, I would absolutely jump over there. I love Ninja Turtles, and I know they've done stuff with Ninja Turtles, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it's just
There's
just
a
not
whole
my thing.
entire Ninja Turtle team.
I know, there is, but it's just like the Joker is the one thing that I absolutely always had such a passion for. Even when it was the 1960s and the wonderful gentleman that played the Joker, he didn't want to shave off his mustache, so he would actually cake it with this white powder to make his lip look a little bigger, but he did not want to shave off his mustache. He was a good Joker, though, even though that really confused me that entire show, because when you read Batman, it's always at night or in the dark and this and that, and every episode was during the bright sunshine.
Easier to film.
No, I
With
think
what
it
they
has
had the
more to
ability
do
to
with
do?
the psychedelics of the era, because they wanted it to be colorful. And considering that color TV was starting to become more popular
Right.
at the time, they wanted something that would play to color televisions. And of course, with the drugs and psychedelic music and all of that, they wanted a show that would kind of cater to that as well. So you're hitting it on two fronts with the whole psychedelic atmosphere of it, and something that'll play well on color TV. And they filmed it much in the same way as you would have comic panels drawn at the time, and those same kind of colors. If you look at the old Batman comics, the colors that they use in the panels were very close to the same colors that they used in the show. So, it was campy, and I think Adam West went on record of saying that if they couldn't do it like campy like that, he wouldn't have any part of it. He only took it because he got to do that whole Batman dance in the pilot episode, in the discotheque, because it's so completely out of character for somebody that has a serious demeanor such as he does. And that was the whole reason that he took it. And nobody expected it to be as big a success as it became. Everybody expected it to flop because it was just so dumb. And it turned out to be a huge success. It didn't last longer than 2 seasons. And I think there's only like 66 episodes, maybe 60 episodes, something like that. But it literally, it kind of created like its own cult following, even while it was still on the air.
So, at what point did we get at the point that Batman need to have shark spray?
That's the creativity of the writers at the time. It's that whole show is a Deus Ex Machina in the utility belt. They have exactly what they need on the utility belt at the time that they need it. It literally has everything. And
That
it just makes you wonder, because there's only like maybe 6 canisters on the entire belt, but they always have what they need.
Right. And that just never made sense. How in the heck did you know your day was going to end up finding out that the Penguin had something to do with it and you needed shark spray? There again, how in the heck, as a guy with bubble gum and a clothespin or a paperclip, able to do half of the stuff he did in the show MacGyver?
Well, that's somewhat hyperbole a little bit, the way you're putting it. It's not actually the case. I mean, people say that he could do all of this stuff with bubblegum and a clothespin, but the reality, if you watch the show, even MacGyver says it on like one of his missions. He's carrying his rucksack with him, and somebody asked him, "What's in the sack?" And he says, "It's not what's in the sack. It's what I pick up along the way." Because, his scientific mind, he'll see something and know that he might have a use for it. He can do something scientific with it. So he'll keep it in a sack. And I mean, you see this several times throughout the course of the series. And I think it lasted maybe 5 years, 5 or 6 years, something like that. They did get to a point where they probably jumped the shark at one point. Later on down the line, I vaguely recall MacGyver gets knocked out and he travels back in time to around the time of King Arthur. And that's when you find out his first name, because he meets the medieval version of himself. And that's when you find out MacGyver's first name, which was never revealed in any other episode except that one. And then you find out later on that he has a son who has the same name. And he had never met his son before. But the mom obviously knew MacGyver's first name. But there are also episodes where MacGyver is pulled in, I think to MIT or something like that, to teach science classes in the absence of the professor who taught him. And he was one of the best students. So, I mean, they do explain a lot, but at the time that the show was being made, they literally and you can look this up. This is documented. They had a research team at MIT. I think it was MIT that would run all of these experiments to find out if the stuff that MacGyver did on the show was actually feasible, if they could recreate it. And some of the stuff they could. Like, it was scientifically possible to do some of the things that he did in the show. Maybe not all of them, but that's where Mythbusters come in later on with Adam Savage and the walrus, whose name I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about.
Whoa.
Yes.
Jamie.
Jamie Heineman, yeah. So what?
You know what?
That's what they called him on the show because of his mustache. He had the walrus mustache. So they always called him the walrus.
So funny.
Jamie Heineman.
So
they literally did these experiments to find out if some of the stuff that he did on the show was feasible, and a lot of them were.
So let me ask you this, guys. This is a good question for all of us. What is your favorite mystery in a TV show or a movie? that just absolutely shocked you when you found out the secret. I can tell you what my mom and dad was, because I remember the day that this happened, and I felt like if I walked in front of the TV during the big reveal, I was going to get my block knocked off. And it was when Home Improvement finally showed what Al's face looked like.
Wilson.
Oh yeah. Wilson's face.
The next door neighbor.
Yeah. That was just bam right there.
He looked normal. He looked like everybody else.
120 episodes.
Of MacGyver?
No, of Batman.
Oh,
I don't have
120?
MacGyver yet.
I didn't think there was that many episodes of Batman.
I just counted all the episodes.
Dear Lord.
While
Our
we
research
were talking,
department.
and I'm like, yes, it says there's 3 seasons. But how many are in each of the 3 seasons?
That'd be about 40 episodes per season. That's a lot of episodes because the normal season is 20 to 22.
Yeah. It says there's 3 seasons, but there's a whole lot of episodes.
Well, if they were coming out weekly, that would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
It depends on how long their season is, though.
Hold on a second. I think
The show
season
didn't run
3
that
says
long.
26 episodes.
How many?
26 for 3. It's loading. 60 for 2.
Well, that's 86.
And it says
so
34 for 1.
yeah, that'd be 120. Wow, that's crazy. I did not think it was that many.
Our collective has 3 animated Batman series on here, and that original live action TV show, not counting multiple live action and animated Batman movies.
Well, I'm just talking about the Adam West Burt Ward show from the late 60s.
And that is the one I counted all the episodes of.
Okay. Wow, I did not think it was that many. I
'Cause
guess
I
that
only
would
told
explain
you.
why it went to syndication so quickly.
Yep. And I only told you the amount that is in that one series.
On average, typically, in order to go into syndication, you have to have at least 100 episodes. And because there's 20 to 22 episodes per season for most shows, it takes about 5 years to get to the point where you have enough episodes that you can go into syndication. And syndication is where the real money is. So that's where all TV shows, that's what they're trying for, is to get to the point where they can have at least 100 episodes. That's when you start making money.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm still trying to figure out which mystery out of all the mysteries. And the problem is I've been watching like 8 or 9 a day for the past 2 years.
Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Oh. Hmm.
I don't think I have the I remember Inspector Gadget. I remember everything, and he was so close to being caught every single time. I don't think I ever remembered him getting caught.
I don't think
So-
he ever got caught, but his face was never revealed in the show.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's a
I
good
just
one
saw
though.
something on Facebook the other day where Dr. Claw was finally revealed, and in the most unexpected way. They made a toy figurine of him. And that's what Dr. Claw looked like.
Interesting.
And he looks like an evil version of Lemony Snicket.
Hmm.
Now, I can't tell. Is this like the Inspector Gadget from the movie, or is this the actual toy from the actual cartoon? But this guy has got his hair looks like three stripes of a horn, and the face just looks like it's melted, like bad plastic.
Well, I think you're looking at the one I was looking at then.
I could not.
Welcome back to another episode of
Hmm.
And Friday's over there still thinking about her mystery.
Yeah, that's the hard part. My days consist of a whole lot of mystery shows. Because
Well,
I
this
spend a
guy-
whole lot of time with my mother-in-law. So that's random games with the kids, random mysteries from between the BBC and America, and random ghost shows or horror movies.
Right here, they're talking about the Cobra Commander.
What he looks like under his mask. I don't think they ever showed that either.
I don't know. Let me look this up and see if it does.
Hmm. I reserve the answer to that until later. If that is okay.
He was never shown actually in any show or anything like that, except for just having a white hood over his head. So his physical face was never anything. Um, the one episode they do show, he had a white hood over his head.
What about Deathstroke? Because I think that his face was like a skull. I mean, was that a mask? And what about Skeletor from He-Man? Because his face was a skull. So why did he look that way?
Because He-Man was in a world of magic. And you gotta remember, they have used him on everything. That's like the greatest meme ever.
Until next time.
He goes running out. Yeah, that's actually a really good question to really think about. You know, I don't know. My son would say Detective Pikachu. Finding out what the main star's dad looked like, and Pikachu's voice is Ryan Reynolds, so they were really wondering if it was going to be something else, and then came to realize it's Ryan Reynolds.
What about Charlie from Charlie's Angels? Did they ever show Charlie?
That's kind of like asking, what about Kit? Did they ever show a face for Kit? Nope, Kit was the car. Charlie, no. I don't think so.
Well, they alluded to him in the movies, but you only ever see him like his legs or from the back. You never actually see him.
Charlie's Angels.
I don't think they ever showed the original. I don't know.
Because the Angels, they never knew what he looked like. They never saw him. But Bosley apparently knew what Charlie looked like.
Yeah. If you could get rid of any month of the year, what month would it be?
July and August, so we can go back 10 months, and September, October, November, and December would still match up.
Alrighty.
I don't want to get rid of a month. If anything, I wanted to add a month.
Go back to 13.
13 months.
Well, July and August, I think, were named after Julius and Augustus Caesar, if I'm not mistaken.
Most
Something
likely.
like that.
I have no idea.
And I don't remember the historical reason why the months were added to the calendar, but wouldn't it be interesting to travel back in time to change it to where those were never added and see how it would affect history?
Possibly something to do with the 13 zodiac signs.
13
Right.
zodiac signs.
Yeah, they said that there's actually 13 and not 12.
So what's the 13th?
Hold on.
I heard that the other month, by the way. Every time I type in 13, it goes to 13th Ghost.
Yeah. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Taurus, Leo, Scorpius, Aquarius, Gemini, Virgo, Ophiuchus, however you pronounce that, Pisces.
So
That
that would be the 13th one then.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
How,
yep,
how's
that's
it
the new
spelled?
one.
he's the serpent bearer. It's not the new one. It's the old one that everybody conveniently tried to do away with.
Ophiuchus. November 29th to December 17th.
OPHIU.
CHUS.
Ophiuchus?
Ophiuchus?
Sure.
Sounds Greek enough.
There it is.
I'm
I
not
am
familiar with
trying
that
to
one.
upload it. Well, it's new to me too.
Trying to think of some other mysteries. What
I
else
didn't
do we
be a
have?
jerk that way. I can work around it. I don't know. What's your favorite weird food combination?
Twinkies and hot dogs. Twinkie dogs.
Are you putting the hot dogs in the Twinkies there?
Yep. Spray 'em with cheese whiz.
Salsa and brownies.
I can see how that would have some
Weird
sort of
food
weird appeal.
cravings with Cassie. There we go. No.
Yeah, Ophiuchus. Okay. Probably Raising
you
Cane's
imagine-
chicken tenders, but you have to try it with the sauce.
We were talking about that the
Can you
other day.
imagine your parent as the president?
My parents as the president?
Yeah, either of your parents.
My mom, no. She would probably be more akin to coming into the Oval Office and saying, "This place is a mess," and then start cleaning it. And then all of the Secret Service would be going to the kitchen because my mom would be cooking lunch for everybody. That's what my mom would do. My dad, I could see being more presidential, but I don't see him as a statesman. I don't see him as a political face, a political figurehead, because he's not the kind of person I think that would stand up in front of an audience and give a speech or anything like that. He'd be more akin to leading the Secret Service because he's more of the shy, well, not shy, but quiet. He's more of the quiet, actionable type, meaning he's not going to talk much, but he will get shit done. And don't cross him if he's doing it.
Fair enough. Hey Jenny. There's the date changes.
Okay. Hold on a second.
So I would be by that I would be a Gemini, and I don't think I'm anything like a Gemini.
Well, as of right now, I'm a Capricorn, but I guess I would be drop clear down to this one on the bottom then.
I don't like that chart. No wonder they did away with it.
Huh. It's interesting though. And we lost Jenny.
They probably did away with the 13th zodiac sign around the same time they made planet no longer, or Pluto no longer a planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please send that to me, Pile. I definitely want to share it with my sister.
I can. Give me a sec.
He will always be a Leo. I like the idea of me being a Scorpio. But I wasn't able to see long enough for my husband had a question to find out.
I don't like the idea of me being a Gemini though.
I can put that back up if you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it should probably be in the thing. Or you deleted it.
Of course I did. I don't
Okay, I don't need that. I've been changed to a Libra.
It's kind of like a zebra.
And Josh is a Capricorn.
That just throws everything off. I don't like it.
It's okay.
Some people would get to keep their birthdays and others would not. Or keep their zodiac signs and others would not.
I don't even pay attention to mine. In fact, I have to like almost repeatedly have to tell somebody, "Oh, okay, well, do me a favor. According to this, what am I again?"
I'm trying to think of some other mysteries. What other mysteries are there in shows that we haven't gone over yet? When we talked about Cobra Commander, we talked about Wilson. We talked about what else we talked about? Charlie.
What about Hannah Montana?
What about Hannah Montana?
Well, I mean, Miley don't look like Hannah Montana, and Hannah Montana don't look like Miley, but they are never in the same place at the same time.
Are you trying to make a joke?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
because my brain is way too tired to. On that note, favorite weird fact.
Favorite weird fact.
That I just found out that there's insoles that could be correcting my entire foot problem I've had for about 3 years now, and they're about $50, and I ordered them today, and they came in today, and I'm wearing them, and so far so good, but I won't know until I actually have to do something with my feet.
Epic. I've never received anything that quickly.
I have amazing Amazon.
I'm also
Okay.
in the middle of nowhere.
Favorite weird
Boy.
fact. Here's one for you. No, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but I'm sure it could probably be verified fairly quickly if someone were to bother to research it. But in Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they asked, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? And Deep Thought says the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. They don't quite understand this response. And Deep Thought points out to them, well, maybe you're not asking what the question is. If you
Right
knew the
question.
question, then the answer would make sense. Now, Douglas Adams chose the number 42 because on the ASCII chart, the number 42 corresponds to the symbol of the asterisk, which can be anything you want it to be. The asterisk is always the wild card that you put in to represent whatever you need it to be.
Okay. That would take actually some time to figure that out. Because it says something about a Greek symbol and multiple things in geek culture. And in all honesty, the entire series is. Have you read the whole series?
Everything up to Mostly Harmless.
So you know how to fly?
If I forget to fall,
If you just miss the ground?
mm-hmm.
Well, isn't flying just falling with style?
Yes.
Oh. Flying is falling and forgetting to land.
Isn't that hovering?
Yes.
Well, flying is indicative of moving in a certain direction. Hovering means that you're sitting still.
It's true.
I've always wanted to know
Huh.
what a Pangalactic Gargle Blaster tastes like.
No, that I don't question that one. It's kind of like the whole thing with Arabian goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Arabian goggles was not actually a thing until it was premiered on a show.
I always wondered what the steak would taste like at the restaurant at the end of the universe.
That I have wondered.
I'll bet the steaks are really good.
I feel like somebody needs to put in a comment a question for us. Because the way that we're just coming out with these questions.
Yeah, we can continue coming up with these questions and the weird list I keep finding. Or since we're an hour and a half in, we could say goodnight.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
Is that just because we're and we're
I was
happy
just
to
giving
have everybody
options.
here? And honestly, tomorrow I don't know exactly what I got going on, and I did not sleep more than 3 hours. I can actually say more than 3 hours because I slept in a recliner last night. What is the airspeed of what?
Of a coconut-laden swallow. The
You did not give
airspeed
us.
velocity of a transmigratory swallow. What do you mean? Which kind? African or European?
Yeah, you didn't specify.
Oh, I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Oh, hey. Friday, why I got you on here? I got a joke for you.
Uh-oh. Oh, jeez.
So here's my question for you. Or
Oh, it's a
here's my
question,
joke.
not a joke.
It's a joke. Here's my joke for you. Okay. Truck driver passes away. He goes ahead and as soon as he passes away, I don't know. Did I already tell you this one?
Here's the problem. I've known truckers all my life. I don't know if I've heard your version yet.
Okay. So here's the truck driver. He passes away. He gets up to the pearly gates, looks at St. Peter, and says, "Hey, I don't know. Am I going to make it in or not?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, absolutely. Before you get in, you have done a pre-trip every single day, every single time, on every single vehicle. So we are going to give you a semi of your dreams. All you got to do is imagine which truck you want, and we'll go ahead and we'll give it to you." And as he goes ahead, he thinks about it. He goes, "I got it." And then poof, it appears. And he goes, "Wow." He goes, "Yeah, so let me just show you right now. This room right here, this is the driver's lounge. If we go in there, you will see there is a recliner. That is the most comfortable, most best recliner that's ever been around. There it is. That one is for you. And every other truck driver gets one of these recliners." He goes, looks around, and he goes, "Wow, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of truck drivers." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Let me show you the roads here in heaven." He looks at him and goes, "Right there. They're all paved in gold, and they've got silver lines on them. That way, trucks know which way to turn. They can do traffic very well." He looks at him and goes, "Wow, that's amazing." And he looks back at that trucker's lounge and he goes, "If we have a job to do up here in heaven, and we have trucks and we have stuff to haul, why aren't any of these truck drivers in their trucks?" I imagine everybody got their own truck. And St. Peter looks at him and puts his head down and goes, "Yeah, you're right. Everybody did get their own truck. But there's never been a single dispatcher that's been able to make it through the gates."
I like that one.
There you go.
Thank you.
I was just thinking of that, and I was like, "Oh, that's one person that would appreciate it."
Okay, just so everybody in Owlite Land understands, my dad and father-in-law were truckers. And they worked their butts off every day to take care of my family and Josh's family, that so they could provide.
Yep.
And I will always have a soft spot for truckers in my heart. And lately, my new favorite one is the one there or there. Whichever way you see me pointing that he is at, I can never tell.
This way or this way?
Well, that's the problem. Because for me, you're there. Are you there on the screen?
No.
No.
I know. And if I go like this, I can tickle the owl's feet. Tickle, 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 tickle.
He's above my left hand right now.
Hi,
And there's
Mariah.
Mariah.
What's up, guys? I
I
didn't
had
hear
to
it work.
tell my kids we have Domino's at home.
Yeah, well, I finished inventory. I gotta put the 16.
The commercials keep lying to me. She's supposed to come out of the silverware drawer. You know what she never does? Come out of the silverware drawer.
I'm sorry.
My kids
I know you keep getting Domino's in the hope that I'll be there.
Oh, I
So
know
let
you're
me
not
just-
going to be there, but the kids love pizza.
Let me just tell you right now, the funniest thing is I'm hearing whatever is going on in your background, and all I can think of is, yeah, smack, yeah, smack.
I thought
don't
it sounded
know
like
what that sound
gunshots.
is. was waiting for
Mariah's
somebody
over
to-
there coming correct on the customers.
I
Whipping
was
out the
waiting.
gat.
I was waiting for somebody to say, "No, Daddy, no."
Or yes, Daddy, yes.
That is actually me using what's called a rocker blade.
Oh
They
yeah,
are,
I got those.
yeah. We use it to pet pizzas over here on the pet table in here with you guys. Kind of just killing time till I can.
So, I will tell you right now, I have a Blackstone, and I love my Blackstone because I can make some cheese quesadillas. I love these things, but the awesome thing about those rockers, I can actually use those, and I can cut on there, and it cuts really awesome.
Cheese on the
Yeah. Rocker blades can be pretty awesome, and when you're angry and you're using them on a metal table, yeah.
What is the funniest story is your hometown famous for?
What funny story is your hometown famous for? Who is that? Lattes and creativity.
You know what? I'm okay with that because I like lattes and creativity. I just don't like lattes because I don't like coffee. But nothing against you.
Are we talking about like stories the public knows or ones that we know?
Go.
I mean, is there a famous story that everybody knows, or is there a famous story that only you guys know about your hometown? That's a really great question, and I'll tell you. We're a small community, so the only thing we could ever say was, hey, we actually had a basketball team win a state championship. That's why we were actually famous for 1 year, and now everybody's like, oh, well, we forgot this community.
Oh, cool.
So like, oh, go ahead, Ron.
Mine's almost similar. My hometown is known because App State beat Michigan. Other than that, nobody really knows anything about my hometown.
What about you, Jenny?
Mariah? I was going to see if Mariah could, because I'm like,
Okay, so mine is the hey, y'all watch this for the 4th of July. I don't know that it's known nationally. I know that it is talked about on EMS website. So a group of rednecks get together on 4th of July, and as they do, they started drinking.
No.
This is back when the Dodge Ram had first come out. Well, the newer Dodge Ram. And so these guys started drinking, and they decided that they knew everything, so they wanted to try and see what bungee jumping was like. They're in the middle of the woods. Uh, have you guys seen that yellow nylon rope that you can get at like Harbor Freight and Lowe's?
Yeah.
Tie stuff down. So they tied one end of it to a trailer hitch, and somebody climbed up in a tree and they threw the rope over. And they said, okay, so if we stop the rope here, then the person won't hit the ground, and it should be good. But we can see what it's like. Drinking logic at its finest. Um, Guy climbs up, ties himself to the rope, jumps. They did not account for the guy's actual height, so he slams into the ground, knocks himself out, dislocates both hips. His friends are trying to figure out how to get him out of the rope. Again, drunken logic. So somebody gets in the truck, turns it on, and pulls forward. Rope is still attached to the trailer hitch. Drags the guy back up the tree, breaks his femur. He gets caught in the branches. They go to back up, and they drop the guy again, and then ran him over. Dude is still alive, by the way. They call us. We get there, and full immobilization, and then drive to the emergency room, and he spent the next 18 months in the hospital. It's one of those, why would you do this? And why didn't the Darwin Awards come type thing? But like everybody talked about that month at the fire station. So yeah, that's mine.
Well,
And so what happened to the guy?
I used to live in Navasota. Have you guys heard of Bonnie and Clyde?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those would be the famous people.
Guy lived. He was actually drunk enough that when they ran him over, he was just kind of limp. So between the alcohol and the damage, he just kind of passed out. So he didn't get muffler burns or anything like that. He literally just ended up in the hospital for like 18 months because they shattered his pelvis and one femur. So they did rods and reconstruction and all that stuff. And then once they did that, they had to like pin in his patella again. Like, I mean, it was a serious amount of damage. But he lived. Doesn't walk so pretty anymore, but he lived. I haven't seen him in 6 years now, 7 years.
So what about you, Jenny? What's yours?
She said Bonnie and
Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, Bonnie and Clyde. I didn't hear that. I heard something else. I thought it was a conversation. But should we post the next question here? Because he actually sent another question.
Uh-oh.
If
someone wrote a book about your life, what would the title be? I already know that. I think I've already said it before.
Would you like fries with that?
That's the book you wrote about your life.
Yes.
A book about my life would be called Damn It, Ron.
Mine would probably be Not So Funny Joke.
Not so funny now, is it?
I'm going to tell you, Fridays would be All the Books Are Mine.
Yeah, all your books belong to us.
All the books are mine. All books belong to us. Yes.
A book of Friday. All books belong to me. I am everybody at once.
Actually,
This
it was
woman-
State of Mind.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I still like All Books Are Mine.
Well, all books are mine. I have over 13,000 in my Kindle.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Well,
Yeah,
guys,
I would
think
call it based off the meme. All your base are belong to us. So all your books are belong to us, because that would be
Yes.
funnier.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to jump off here because I gotta get ready for tomorrow. But always
Mwah.
glad I got a chance to chat.
Make sure you tie the yellow rope
Show.
around you before you jump off here.
Yeah, you're right. Bye.
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 If you could start a club for something silly, what would your club be about?
That's a good question. I'll have to think about that one. Start a club for something silly.
Halloween pictures.
Halloween pictures?
Yes, mainly Halloween pictures and random witch stuff.
I think there's already
Called the
groups for
Wild
that.
Cohort. Say what?
I think there's already groups for that, though.
How to control and
It's
tame a wild Karen.
Say that again.
How to control and tame a wild Karen.
A wild Karen?
Yeah.
Are there-
Yeah.
Are there tame Karens?
No. Like a Karen. Okay, so dealing with my line of work, actually any service industry job, we've seen the videos of the Karens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a subtle art to controlling and taming a Karen, especially when she's in mid rant.
Mariah, if I may point out, that sounds like the next title for your book. It sounds like the next book for you.
You know, I've gotten more messages in the last 3 days that I need to do a second book like this. And it's so funny because that book was literally just intended to get this work shit out of my head so I could write my other stuff. But everybody's like, yeah, you need to do it again. And I'm just sitting here going, really? Do I?
How to Control and Tame a Wild Karen sounds like a great title for your next book.
Yeah, it might happen. Who knows?
I thought of a club that we can start for something silly, and this would have to be with the approval of Dr. Raz. But I think that we should start a club where people just post pictures of random places that are completely innocuous with the caption of "The Bewildered Beast was here," or "Here's some evidence that the Bewildered Beast was here."
I have a feeling we take it too far.
Should probably make that one private so we can take it as far as we want.
Well, I'm thinking, you see, let's say somebody, they order fast food and they dispose of like their leftover fries or on the ground or something, and you see their little carton of fries that are all spread out on the pavement, and you take a picture of it and you put the caption, "Evidence that the Bewildered Beast was here." For no fucking reason, just other than, perpetuating the whole myth of the Bewildered Beast. Just random stupid shit.
I approve. I think we should do this. Just to, more content. Let's go.
Yeah, I want to see how creative people will get with the pictures. Like fabricating evidence and like what kind of things can we do to make it look like the Bewildered Beast was here.
Y'all get pictures from me on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Oh my god, I could see that blowing up actually.
again, I say again, we would take it too far. But I don't think that's a bad thing with this group.
Can you though? Can you really? Can you take it something like that too far? I mean, can you? Is that possible?
Maybe not. Like, I mean, yeah. We might
Like-
push the line a little, but
Like somebody knocks over the shampoo bottle in your shower, and you just take a picture of it. The bewildered beast was here. Just random stupid shit.
we are so making this group in the next week. I know it's going to happen now.
It's done.
See, I knew it. We're going to take it too far. Let's go.
Oh man, this has to happen now. This is when people start posting pictures of completely random innocuous shit that have no point whatsoever.
I'm totally in. Let's go.
Oh, this is great.
Horrible. But it's fine. We're okay with it.
Oh, that was a good question for lattes and whatever it was, lattes and diarrhea. I don't know. It's something. Lattes and enema.
Creativity.
Lots of creativity, whatever. Lattes and diarrhea. I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, creativity is just an enema for your brain. So,
Right, exactly.
although
Okay.
I don't think anybody in this group would want to see what came out of that. Like, if they were to do that to our particular group of people, that would be a little bit scary, I think. Because, like, we have Raz, and I mean, he's scary. And then we have Ron, too, who's also scary. Then there's me, who's, borderline psychopath, also scary.
She's spraying the fire extinguisher on random Karens that are running by.
Do not tempt me. I have had a week. I am not gonna lie to you. No. I am ready for some of these women. Like, I am done.
What a great reaction. Do not tempt me. Oh, that's hilarious.
There.
Oh, did you post something?
How to find that group.
Okay. I'll look it
Well-
up once we're offline.
Yeah, I can't look at Facebook while I'm doing this with you guys because it kicks me out.
Understandable. Well, now we've done silly.
Yep. Who is Lattes and Creativity anyway? That's not a username I've seen before. I'm not familiar with that one. Do we know who this person is? You do. Okay.
Yep. Did I not mention there's 22 pages?
22 pages.
Yeah, that I seem to be I keep being added as admin to pages. So
Okay.
I've started playing around with them. Lattes and Creativity is one of them.
Okay. So that's you then.
If a soda company was going to make a soda with your name on it, what type of soda would it be?
Okay. I have an answer for this. If you could make the perfect Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple, maybe a little bit of garlic, and it's just choice flavor. The best tasting Hawaiian pizza you've ever had in your life, and turn that into a soda. Turn that flavor into a soda.
Strawberries and cream.
I think they already have that.
Yeah.
That's a good soda, though. Strawberries and cream.
Because I don't. When it comes to drinks, I'm very. I like certain things.
Mariah soda would probably be if hate and bitterness had a flavor.
I was about to say mochaccino, rage, and nicotine. So fair. So fair.
Snarka-Cola.
Narca-Cola?
Snarka-Cola.
Oh, Snarka-Cola. Yeah, Snark-Cola. I get it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably drink the hell out of that.
Well, right after Friday first met me, and started doing some of the graphics for my stuff, she named me, what was it? The Queen of Snark, I think is what she said.
Hold on. It was on Amina Raziel. There we go. That is the actual. Hold on.
I know she's got it. She keeps on my.
I know I have it somewhere. There we go. Worlds of Fantasy and Snark.
Did I ever tell you about my quest to find the perfect milkshake?
Yes.
Ew.
I did?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
You asked if I heard the story.
Yeah. No point telling it again. You've already heard it.
What?
There's no point telling it again if you've already heard it.
What is the most... Okay, what food you keep going back to most snack-wise?
In my younger days, it was Swiss cake rolls. But they're very bad for your health. So it's kind of changed a bit over the years. I still love Swiss cake rolls. I just don't eat them as much as I used to. Now it is Reese's Cups, Kit Kats, and Mounds. And usually in that order. I'll buy several of each. And then I'll have one Reese's Cup, one Kit Kat, one Mounds, and eat them usually in that order. I know that's weird.
So mine, the Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips.
Oh, those are good too.
And my sweet one is the Fudge Round.
Fudge Rounds?
Like,
yeah, I like those too.
Yeah, Fudge Rounds fudge rounds, like you can't go wrong. Like when you have a fudge round, the world ain't so bad no more.
Right?
Nope.
It is what it is. Um, but yeah, fudge rounds are like my guilty pleasure snack that I keep going around to. It's like, hey, I've had a crappy week. Let me get a fudge round. But the Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips are my salty that I keep going back to. Them and Bugles.
Oh, I love bugles.
like,
I like the
like
ranch
I'm,
flavored bugles. Oh, those are so good.
yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm such a child because Bugles for me make me feel like I'm still a kid because
Right.
I like doing the hey look I've got the killer nails
Yep.
type thing. And it's stupid, and I know it's stupid, but I love doing it. And
No, it's not
it's
stupid.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you internally chuckle while you do it, going, "I'm an adult." Still making nail hands.
There's some chips that I get from Dollar General. They're made by Zappos and they're called Voodoo chips. Those are really good and they're very addictive. I eat those things all the time now. And I probably shouldn't, but I do. And I like those are my go-to salty, the Voodoo chips. But during haunt season, whenever we're on the road, I usually get a bag of the bold Chex Mix. And
Oh, I love that shit.
well, I used to get just like a regular bag of chips or something like that, but then like I would eat them, fill myself up, and then my stomach would be hurting, or I'd feel bloated, or I'd start getting heartburn, like going through the night when I need to be acting. So I decided I needed to change up, try something different that wouldn't give me uh, those reactions. So I started getting the Chex Mix, and they fill me up a lot quicker where I'm not eating the entire bag, but I don't have nearly, the same kind of bloat or, getting the acid reflux from eating them throughout the evening. So Chex Mix has become my go-to snack for haunt nights or for road trips in general.
You're right about that, and I've never even thought about it. Like that whole explanation is correct.
It's the different grains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. Like I've never thought about it, but you know what? He's right. Like I could, eating sun chips, I get reflux. Like I get it real bad with sun chips. That's why I don't eat them so often. But like I do grab a bag of Chex Mix and I'll sit there and snack on it till I'm full and then close it and I'm fine. Don't feel bloated, don't feel and I'm like, oh yay, okay, I'm eating, I'm full, I'm ready to do this now. And I'm fine after Chex Mix. Whereas with other stuff it's like I'm sitting there like feeling my gag reflex. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That it is.
So you learn things when you're on road trips for haunting.
Have you guys ever got that onion and chive, green onion and chives, cream cheese, and either some ham or chicken and mustard and put it on a sandwich?
No, but my mom used to make these little hors d'oeuvres where you would take some of that cream cheese, spread it on a slice of ham, and then roll the ham up and cut it into little pieces and make these little hors d'oeuvres. And that's all it is. It's just like that cream cheese spread across ham and you roll it up. They're so good.
Do that, but roll it around a pickle spear.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Okay, so
Good
what
idea.
Ron was talking about with the ham roll, There's another one you can do because they also have a cream cheese spread that has jalapeno.
Yeah, I can't
If
do
you use
jalapenos though.
that one because they don't use spicy jalapenos. If you use that one, roll that up in salami. Oh, it's
That
so
sounds
tasty.
Yeah, I don't do jalapenos.
the thing I don't understand about myself, I should not want to see sandwich meat ever again after working in a deli. But I have lived on chicken sandwich meat before. So, yeah.
See, like, I can't see that being a problem because there's so many different types of sandwich meat. It's like, bruh, you can have something different every day.
Oh, yeah. And, Boar's Head, they actually have restaurants you can go to. So
Yeah.
I've been able to go to a Boar's Head restaurant and have a sandwich made there. And that was definitely one of that trip. I also got to go to the cheesecake factory for the first time ever. And that is actually some of my favorite times because I got to do something with my kid and mother-in-law that was amazing, and we get to have quality time together, but also go to restaurants we've never been to before.
The Publix chain of grocery stores down in Florida, they have a deli that serves boar's head meat, and you can get subs made there with boar's head meat. And I mean, they're so good. They don't have Publix here in Ohio. They have Meijer. Meijer doesn't have delis where you can get sandwiches made, or some of them don't. Anyway, some of them do. But every time I go visit my parents in Florida, I'll usually go to Publix and I'll get a sub with the boar's head meat. It's like the one thing I look forward to when I go down there is getting a Publix sub. They're so good.
I
They'll
know
have
we have Boar's Head like delis and stuff here in the east part of North Carolina. I'm not sure about western North Carolina anymore. I know in Fayetteville there's 3 places. Here in Wilson, we actually have a deli, like it's a deli restaurant called Brewmasters. They use like all the Boar's Head stuff and just wow, like Reuben, top notch.
Oh yeah,
Top notch.
corned beef pastrami with some
they
sauerkraut.
will they get the meat to slice at our delis, the Boar's Head meats and cheeses, but I normally just get like 3 or 4 different meats and some cheese, and then they'll have different type of crusty rolls that are really cheap in the bakery area. Just bring those home, and then we have our own little buffet thing, and it's something to snack on throughout the week.
Oh, the Publix, they bake their own bread in house too. So not only are you getting the boar's head meat, but you're also getting fresh made bread as well. I mean, that's made there that day. So
Oh
you
yeah,
know that you're
that's
getting everything fresh.
that's the way we would do it at our deli as well. We'd have fresh bread, fresh rolls, and we'd make sandwiches or hamburgers because we had a normal one of the hot things that you'd find at. I don't know if that's normal for delis over there, like fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and
Yeah.
other types of things. Meatloaf.
We have Whole Foods here in Ohio. I don't know how far the chain stretches, but Whole Foods, most of the stores I've been in, they usually have a buffet bar where you can buy food by the pound. It's fresh made food, you know.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you go in there and you get like maybe one entree and a couple sides, it's standard price, maybe 12, $15, something like that for a regular meal. I did not know this the first time I went to Whole Foods, and I'm seeing all of this stuff on the bar. I'm like, oh, I want some of that, and I want some of that, and I want some of that. So I start loading up my container in my cart. The the thing that you put your food in.
Yeah.
And I start putting all this stuff in it. And I'm like, oh, and I'm not thinking about it. And I take it up to the register and she's like, $30. I'm like, what? I'm like, you're fucking shitting me. And then girl I was with at the time, she's like, no, you're paying for the pound, not, on what you're getting. You're paying for the pound. And I was like, I got $30 worth of food. She's like, you're not paying for the particular items or entrees that you're getting. You're paying by the pound. And this thing was several pounds. I did not know that. I went, oh. So I wised up, and I had to be much more selective about what I got the next time that I went there. But it was so good though. And
Oh
it did
yeah, it
last me long.
was. I bet.
Yeah, I like to eat. That's my problem.
I have
can
made
eat.
that mistake at the Chinese buffet.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of horrible. My husband and my son, I swear, they have 3 stomachs, a tapeworm, and a hollow leg. Okay, so I made their plate because I went into the buffet. I knew I was going home. I was excessively tired. I couldn't cook that night. And they hand me the 3 containers, and they're like, "Oh, just put whatever you want in there." I'm like, "Okay." So I filled up theirs, like you could barely close the styrofoam container. And then I filled up mine, and when I got up to the front, they weighed all 3 of them together, and they were like, "Okay, that's $46." I was like, "What? What? Okay, fair." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we charge this by the pound." And they're going, "How much per pound?" So my first problem was it was 7 pounds worth of food. And I was just like, well, damn, that fucked me over. I was like, fine, whatever, it's great. So yeah, I've made that mistake. I didn't really regret it though, because tasty, but probably something that I would never do again without, knowing the exact numbers.
Oh yeah.
Learn by experience. Wisdom is the one thing you don't have until just after you need it.
Unfortunately,
Fair
yes.
enough.
We are just over 2 hours. Shall we call it?
Yeah, we can call it. I'm okay with calling it, because the only other thing I would ask would be, where's your favorite place to go while you're asleep? What is the most ventured dream world?
I don't view it necessarily in those terms. For the most part, I don't often remember all of my dreams. When I do, it's usually the dark, scary ones that evolve into stories later on. So I don't necessarily think about dream worlds as such. I think a lot about characters and storylines that live rent free in my head that I'm constantly evolving and rewriting, adding to, maybe changing, developing the characters. And I do this to help me fall asleep. And sometimes I'll get so engrossed in the story that I'm thinking about, the characters, that I don't even realize when I've fallen asleep. I just know at some point I wake up. I can literally do this just about anywhere. Like if I'm sitting at my desk, I can zone out and start thinking about one of these stories that lives rent free in my head. And then I get annoyed when I have to stop doing this and go back to reality. It's like go back to work or, go do something else, because I'd rather just sit there in my head thinking about this stuff. That's how I solve a lot of problems, or not, well, maybe problems, but it's how I arrive to some solutions on the stories that I do write.
Okay.
So mine's actually two. There are some nights that it's, the whole Avalon Camelot deal. And then there's a night where this is so stupid. The Furion world from the Reddit
Yeah.
Chronicle. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
I keep on ending up back in Saudi Daisy or random houses for the world of the house hunters and paranormal investigators. Weird things happen in those houses. I've added some of those to the story. I think the one that confused Patty most is the one where Shiva showed up in the dream, and I just decided, okay, I have to write something. Let's write this nightmare.
Yeah, mine's not so much ending up in a dream world or being cognizant of it when I'm actually in the dream world, because I'm asleep. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's happening. So mine is more of a state of lucid dreaming, when I'm still aware that I'm still somewhat awake, aware of what's going on around me, but I know that my brain is disconnected and is in whatever environment that I put it in. And it can be, pretty much anything depending on what's inspiring me at the time. So, it could be based on a TV show. It could be based on a movie. It could be based on a book that I'm reading, and inserting myself into that world, how I would be as a character within that world. A lot of times it's just the storylines that I come up with on my own. And it's kind of like playing Sims, where you're the third person omniscient creator. You're kind of playing God with the characters in your world and rewriting things and seeing how things play out if you change one little thing and what kind of effects that has. So it's still a whole creative process, but you're more cognizant that you're actually doing it and not while you're sleeping.
Mine are repeated nightmares that keep happening over and over again. So they stuck in my brain. I'm like, fine, then if I'm going to keep having this nightmare, I'm going to write it out into a story form. And guess what happened after I wrote it out?
They stopped happening.
Yeah. And the owl, is it me or does the owl keep glitching?
I wasn't paying attention, but it might be me if I'm moving around.
No, the owl would do that thing, like it changed colors and have that liney thing.
Well, now you got me focusing on the damn owl.
Yeah, the owl is where I'm looking, I see the owl. Where you're looking, it looks like you're looking in the opposite direction.
Well, he's at the top right of my screen.
Yeah, he just glitched on my side right there.
That may be my green screen that's causing it.
I don't know. He's just all liney and glitchy. I don't know if anybody else can see it. Either way.
I can't see it. Oh, we lost
Mariah's disappeared. So, Okay, let's end the show with the book you want them to read next that is not your own. And say goodnight.
Okay. I'm torn because I'm still a big fan of Drew Hayes as an author with his series Superpowered, which I would highly recommend for anyone. Years 1 through 4, you can find them on Audible, or you can find them in ebook format, whatever. Great superpower, superhero world, good character development, and all of that. And I think that everybody that's into comic books or any kind of geeky type of stuff like that would really enjoy the Superpowered series. But a book that I would recommend that is not my own that I think people should read would be that of my friend and colleague Rami Unger, called The Pure World Comes. And it is a very interesting read. It's a historical fiction based in the 1800s, around the same time as Jack the Ripper. It has a very interesting premise, but I don't want to give any spoilers away. I just think that it's such a unique book. It's such a unique read that it's worth checking out.
Okay. Murder on the Interstellar Express. Bob's not supposed to be there. He didn't want to be there. He didn't sign up to be there, but now he is, and people keep dying. So how about you're in space on a spaceship, and you have to figure out how and why they're dying. Murder on the Interstellar Express. Mainly because I just want people to learn about Gregory D. Little and why they should read more of his books. Seriously, in one of his series, people are living in these humongous skeletons of things, humongous things that died. Okay? His worlds are amazing. So, yeah, Murder on the Interstellar Express are ungrateful gods. Go find them and read them and find out why she's not happy with the gods. So, I guess, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Where did it go? It's here somewhere.